Hello tarot readers, today I'm going to do a small video on your intuition or being a tarot reader and the difference between the two things. Now if you're a tarot reader and you're just learning the tarot, you may find that you get to some points where you're just putting the cards on the table and you don't need to look at the cards, you're just talking, you just got this inspiration and you're chatting away and you're saying what's coming to you and you're not even looking at the cards. Now I find that a lot when I'm doing my tarot classes or when I'm coaching tarot. I find that a lot of tarot readers, they'll take a long time to learn the tarot, put a lot of effort into learning the meaning of the cards. And then of course, you know, you've got your spread, your tarot spread, which is really important to know your spread before you put the cards on the table. And then, you know, don't jump over cards and learn all this. And then when it comes to actually reading cards, they put them on the table and then kind of ignore all the cards and just say what's coming to them. Now, if you work like that and it works for you, then that's great. And this video is not for you because every tarot reader is completely different. And just because I do something one way doesn't mean it's going to work for somebody else and vice versa. We're all individual, we're all different. But if you find that you're getting kind of a stepping stone, and this is happening a lot, you really need to decide whether if you're actually a tarot reader or you're just a psychic. Now, having intuition and having psychic abilities is great when you're doing tarot reading. I mean, it's really a great tool to work with the tarot and your psychic ability together. It's brilliant. But if you're not using the tarot and you've got this psychic ability, then just use that. There's no point putting the cards on the table if you're not going to use it. And the problem is I found a lot of people are not using no one or the other. So they're not looking at the cards and at the same time, they're not really using the psychic abilities or their intuition. They're just kind of talking. And I know this sounds really weird, but I found it happens when people are nervous or when they start the reading without looking at the cards and then they quickly get into that thought line of, okay, I don't need to look down now, I don't need to look at my cards now, I can just keep going with this, keep talking with this. And it's quite a bad place to be because you're not reading your tarot and you're not psychically connected, but you might think that you are psychically connected in your own head and you're using your intuition in your own head. Only afterwards, maybe nothing what you said in that reading will come true, or just a little bit will come true because your psychic, your intuition has kind of kicked in a couple of times throughout the reading, but not that often. So you'll get a lot of people afterwards, you know, I know so many people that say, I don't even need the cards. As soon as I put the cards on the table, I know what, it just comes, it just flows. I don't even look at the cards. You know, well, but was you right? Did it work out? You know, was you accurate with the reading? And then afterwards, if they're honest, they may say to you, well, actually, no. The person said it didn't come out afterwards. Or, well, there was a few things that did and a lot that didn't. So taking an honest look at what's happening after you give the reading and kind of following up will let you know whether you're going in the right path or not. If you can do a reading just with your intuition, your psychic ability, then maybe you don't even need the tarot cards and you should be focusing just on doing psychic readings. But if for some reason you want to use the tarot cards or you are a tarot reader and you've got some intuition but you want to be a tarot reader, then you've got to really learn to read the cards and really connect to what the cards are saying. You know, like I said, not every tarot reader's got psychic abilities and not every psychic is going to be a tarot reader, and that's fine. You can read the tarot with no psychic abilities whatsoever just by learning the meaning of the cards. But at the same time, if you've got some psychic, some intuition, that's even better. So say, for example, we've got this card here. This card will often mean a social environment. There's somebody who's overindulging, so, you know, they had a nice meal and now they're having all these cups, these drinks, having a good time out. Now, I could give you a reading and as a tarot reader, I'll read the meaning of this card. So I'll be saying, oh yeah, I can see you in a social environment, blah, blah, blah. But my intuition may kick in and I may turn around to you and say, and I can see actually it's a night bar and I can see it's right near where you live and it's quite a big place. Now that isn't my card talking, that's my psychic intuition throwing it in there. Now I can combine them two, my general guidance from the card and my psychic ability, I can put them together and give you this amazing reading, or this really intuitive reading, or this really connected reading. Or I can just go with the flow with the card. If I've got no psychic in there, I can go with the flow of the card and say, well, I can see you in a social environment, and I can see you having a good time, and I can see you, with lots of other people enjoying yourself. That may be enough. I don't need to say it's a nighttime bar. I don't need to say it's near your home. I don't need any extra information. That just being a tarot reader is often enough. Combine it with intuition, it could be even better. But if I don't even look at that card and I just leave the card on the table, and instead of talking about that card, I say, I think you're going to win some money. Oh yeah, I can see some money coming into you. Maybe it's an inheritance. Maybe, yeah, I've got this feeling of money coming to you. If I just go on that path, then first I've really got to know that that intuition is working, that it's proper intuition and not just me feeling stuff, saying random words. But two, I've got to wonder, do I really want to be a tarot reader? Is there any reason to put these cards on the table? Because on a spiritual level, when we learn the tarot, we've got this kind of team of teachers behind us, spiritual teachers. We'll have a spiritual teacher who will be there just to help us with our tarot. And that spiritual teacher will work with all our other spirit teachers to help us advance on a spiritual path. And if we're really not reading our cards, what will happen is spirit will say, well, there's no point helping her with the tarot, because when she puts the cards on the table, she doesn't even listen to them. She doesn't even look at them. She doesn't even take any notice of them. So we're going to stop helping her with the tarot. So it could really injure you in the long run, because you'll find that your tarot stops flowing. And if you are psychic and one day you've not got your psychic intuition plugged in and you're not tuned in and it's not open, you'll find yourself not knowing what to say, because you no longer are connected with your tarot cards. And if you're not connected to your psychic and you've got nothing there coming, you'll find that you're just looking at a person with a blank face going, oh, I don't know what to say to you. Well, can't you read the tarot cards? Well, I'm not really connected to them. I don't really work with tarot. I'm more of a psychic. And that can go really downhill really, really fast. So you want to decide what kind of tarot reader you want to be if you're going to be a tarot reader. Now, I love to use a combination of them both. I'm a tarot reader and I've also got that psychic ability, and I love to combine them both. But there is that major reason for combining them both. If I don't have my psychic ability connected, I can just do a tarot reading exactly the same. And that's enough. Just doing a tarot reading is enough. And other times I use my tarot cards as a guide and my psychic is really open. And that day I'm really plugged in and I'm saying things that I would never see in the cards. But I'm still reading every card on the table and letting that be the guide and kind of the key to opening all these inspirational and intuitive bouts that are coming from me. So it's like every card will open this new doorway and I'll be able to say a lot more. So that's really good. Now, the days when I'm not connected psychically because I'm just overtired, it's not working for me, it's one of those days, or for whatever thousands of reasons it could be, I'm not connected psychically, that's great. I've got my tarot cards. And those days when I'm not that connected to my tarot cards and I'm like, what the hell is going on with these cards today? I'll still use them, but I'll focus more on my intuition. And if you're just one or the other, that's fine as well. But try not to just talk for talking's sake. And then, one good way of kind of realising if you've actually been looking at your cards or not is when you finish doing a tarot reading, try and close your eyes or try and, come away from the reading and remember or write down all the cards that come out. And if you can't remember the cards that come out, none of them, or that may be the moment when you think, I wasn't even looking at my tarot cards. I didn't even look at my tarot cards. So that's just a little difference between your intuition and your tarot reading, and what could work for you and what could go terribly wrong for you. If you're just focusing on talking just for the sake of talking, and a lot of people, they don't realise they're doing it. Like I said, I've noticed it happens when people are nervous, especially when students are nervous. They know the cards, and I know they know the cards, but when they go to do a reading, they get all blustered and flustered and all nervous, and then they'll start just talking for the sake of talking. And if that doesn't come to it, if nobody kind of stops them there and pulls them up and says, look, you're making you're just making this up basically, or you think you're not, but you are because you're not really connecting, then you can get into that really bad habit of doing that. I hope this video you enjoyed it. If you do, don't forget to hit like and touch subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.